So rotating this around, I see that it's within about 0.1 of a millimeter of sort of plane, and that's good enough. So now I can set this tool, this one here, to 45 degrees and see what we look like around the perimeter. I've just set the cutting tool to 45 degrees and I've taken a very light cut off the corners. Just see them sparkling, and each one is near enough exactly the same size. So that's good, because if it wasn't planed, then they'd be different sizes. So that gives me confidence that everything's set up pretty well, and I'll continue now to chamfer. That's the first side done. I'm quite happy with that for now. I think I might come back and do some more of it at the end of the job, but at the moment that's quite a nice shape, I think, on that side. I'll do the other one just so that it's the same, that it just touches the edge there. This is a test box that I've just made to troubleshoot problems with the box, of which there are a couple here. There won't be holes in the top, obviously, eventually. Secret hinges there. Okay, the lighter fits okay, but I can do better here. I haven't made the screwdriver that goes in here, and the wick works well in here, as does the flint. And I'll drill out separately for the striker wheel. I'll drill out separately for the flints. So that's generally okay. I had to do it in hardwood, which is a scrap of hardware I found, but the hinges protrude at the back. I don't know why they don't on the model, but I might just need to pull them inboard a bit more, or somehow work out why that hasn't worked. And the machining, perhaps there'll have to be a bit less curve on the top, because that's not helping either. I think the pockets for the hinges are deeper than they need to be, which is not helping either. So I've got enough wood to do a second trial. The lighter kind of fits okay. I've got some more wood to do a second trial, which will hopefully be correct, and then I can go on to the more expensive wood, which won't have holes drilled, and the inlay top and bottom, which I don't think there should be a problem with that. But I'll perhaps do that on the next test piece, just to test that out as well. Okay. I've used silicone sealant to seal up inside and outside. All of these inside are sealed, in order that I can test it with lighter fuel before soldering it all up. What I don't want to do is solder it all up and then find that it won't work, that this is too high or this is too low, or the fuels leaks out the O-rings or whatever. So this will give me a chance to fill it with cotton wool, put the wick in, do everything that you will have to do when it's finished, and see if it actually works. Put the flint in, the springs and everything, see if it actually works. I would like to reduce this in length a little bit, but we'll see how the sparks work on the wick as it is. Let's see how the first try, first attempt. So there's some work to be done on the bottom there, but that looks like it works. It's got some fuel in, flint in, and I'm extremely happy with that. Flame can be smaller if the wick is trimmed a bit more, I think. So that's good. I think I'll take that apart and do some more work on it. Perhaps shorten this if I can. See how we go. I've noticed on some of the actual lighters that the penny seems to be domed, and it sort of sticks out from the lighter in a sort of dome fashion. So I've CNC'd up a male sort of piston thing here, and I've CNC'd the female, which also has a dome or an inverted dome or a dip in the bottom of the same radius as this, which is not quite right, but I think close enough. And there's a 0.2 of a mil difference, so that the male fits into the female quite nicely, like that. And I've done this in timber just to see if the dimensions are right, and the penny is just a bit of a friction fit, and I think I'll put another, when I come to make the die in aluminium, I'll probably make it up, say 0.1 or 0.2 mil bigger diameter. And then my idea is then to put all of the assembly like that in my furnace, heat it up to 400 or 500 degrees C, and then put it in the vise and see if I can press the penny out in a dish shape. Just for fun, I've put in another penny which is not for the lighter. I put it into this male and female die that I've made just to see if it would work, and that side feels fine. The female is actually split, although I could put a bigger margin around it and do it in hardwood. And the penny is indeed domed, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I might just remake the female out of hardwood and make the diameter a little bit bigger, because I just sanded this to make it fit. Disaster. I've gone and lost the lighter body, the brass hexagonal lighter body. I can't find it anywhere, and the little screw and the O-ring that goes in the bottom as well. So I've made these forms. I don't have any more brass hex stock to use, so I'm going to cast some brass. I'm going to try and cast some brass and machine the body, which might be a little bit better than before, but we will see. These I made an amend shed, and I've CNC'd them out of solid piece of wood, and then I've made a little taper which goes under the bottom, so that when I present it to the sanding wheel on each edge, to get each edge just right, it ends up in a little taper like that, and that is called a draft. And that is so that when I pack the casting sand around it and pull it out, it'll pull out, because it's tapered, it'll pull out easily, which you'll see in a moment. This is the casting box I'll use. It comes in 2 halves, and this is the very, very slightly damp casting sand that I will use as well. So just compacting the sand around the 2 hexagons. I'm going to pour them both at once. One's a bit bigger than the other in case if I over machine one, or the casting turns out rougher than I expect and I have to take off more metal. So I will compact the sand around. It's a mixture of sand and bentonite, which I get from cat litter, a certain type of cat litter, which makes it stick together. You don't want it dry, or else it won't keep its shape, and you don't want it wet, otherwise you'd be pouring metal into something wet, which is not good. So just slightly damp. So I'll come back when I've removed one of these. I'll tap the top here and remove it gently. Yeah, that looks reasonably good. I haven't used super fine sand, I don't think, and therefore the casting's going to be a bit rough, but that's fine. I'll machine it back anyway, and then I'll do the bigger one, and then we'll see if I can get the electric furnace up to temperature.
He's going to get back to the United States to APEC before long in San Francisco, so his travels are not over for the year. But
It's up to 870 at the moment. It needs to go a bit higher, I think, to
cost of living. And we've seen
yeah, it's not melted yet, so
figures coming out.
we'll see if it'll crank up. If it won't, I'll have to get the big furnace out. We'll see. The electric furnace couldn't quite get high enough temperature, so I've wheeled out the big guns. I've got my injector here with the fan on the back, and giving off a little bit of smoke. Not enough here to burn all of the engine oil. Engine oil here. Let's see the feed in there. And this is the feedback. This is important because that feedback goes back into the injector. And I've got the propane gas here to start get it all going. And I'll be turning the propane gas down now that the oil is working. What could possibly go wrong? This will be hot enough. I'll do aluminium. I've got some scrap aluminium to sort out then, and then I'll put the brass in and get the brass heated up and cast. And I've got the hexagon tray there. And there's the brass, still orange, still glowing orange in the mould. See how that turns out. The crucible cools down pretty quick because it's graphite. And these are the rough castings out of the mould with the tapered sides, small one and big one. Small one I think will be adequate, but if there's a lot of voids and stuff in it, then we'll go on to the big one. So I'll have to work how to start to get this faced off and square and so on. Started to work on this, and it looks quite beautiful actually. It looks nice like that, but we'll have to see how far down these defects go and whether it becomes solid as we face it off to the right sort of dimensions. I'm toying whether to try and get this accurate hexagon done in the CNC machine or the milling machine. I think the CNC would be good. Die 2 here with the additional curvature has given the best results in pressing the pennies, and this is one of the pennies which you can see is dished and domed, and this is the other one. So this Victorian penny will show the date 1899 and Britannia on the outside, and this penny will show the King's Head, and that's, I think it's 1911 penny. So they're both First World War period, and they're typical of the sort of coins that would have been used in the penny lighter. You can see here we have plenty of space on this blank to machine the hex shape for the pennies to go in.